Your future self is not some distant stranger you will meet one day. It is the very person you are creating right now through the choices, habits, and disciplines you practice daily. When you wake up each morning, you are presented with an opportunity to either honor the vision of the life you desire or neglect it. Clarity of vision is the first step in making sure that the person you become is not an accident, but a masterpiece crafted with intention. Too many people live each day reacting to circumstances instead of designing their lives around a clear and compelling vision. Without clarity, you drift like a boat without a rudder. You may move, but movement without direction does not equal progress. Clarity of vision is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for mediocrity. Think of vision as the compass of your life. It is not enough to merely wish for a better future. You must define what that future looks like in precise detail. What do you want your health to be like? How do you want your relationships to feel? What level of success do you desire in your career, your finances, your contribution to the world? The clearer you are, the stronger the pull your vision will have on your daily actions. Your future self is watching, and it is pleading with you to give it a destination to aim for. A blurred target never gets hit, but a clearly defined one commands your focus and energy. When you begin with clarity, something powerful happens inside you. You awaken the part of your mind that is wired to seek, to create, and to build. The brain has a reticular activating system, a filter that pays attention to what you decide is important. When your vision is clear, your brain begins to notice opportunities, people, and resources that align with that vision. You may call it luck or coincidence, but it is simply the result of clarity directing your awareness. If you do not decide where you are going, life will decide for you, and you may not like the outcome. But clarity is not just about writing down what you want. It is about seeing yourself already living that future. You must build the picture so vividly in your mind that you feel its reality in the present. Athletes visualize winning before they step onto the field. Entrepreneurs imagine their product changing lives before it reaches the market. Leaders envision their impact before anyone else believes in it. Your future self is calling you to do the same. Live with a picture so clear that every choice you make today is guided by whether it brings you closer to that vision or pushes you further away. Clarity of vision also demands commitment. Once you see where you want to go, you cannot afford to waver. Distractions will come, doubts will creep in. People may even try to talk you out of it, but your vision is not meant for them, it is meant for you. Your future self depends on your ability to hold that vision steady when circumstances are stormy. Think of a pilot flying through turbulence. Without a clear flight plan, the aircraft veers off course. But with instruments locked on a destination, no amount of turbulence can keep it from reaching its target. Your vision is your flight plan. Every single day, revisit your vision, write it, read it, visualize it, speak it aloud. Do not let a day pass without reconnecting to that future you are building. This is not about wishful thinking. It is about creating the mental framework that drives your behaviors. The clearer your vision, the stronger your actions. The stronger your actions, the sooner your future self becomes your present reality. Clarity of vision is the first and most vital thing you must work on daily. Your future self is watching, waiting, and relying on you to give it a clear identity. Remember, the person you will be tomorrow is shaped by the clarity you hold today. If you want a life of purpose, direction, and fulfillment, you must see it before you can seize it. Every action you take from this moment forward is either a vote for the vision you hold or a step away from it. Choose clarity, and you choose to become the person your future self will thank you for becoming. The strength of your life is determined not by how much you know, not even by how much you desire, but by how disciplined you are in training your mind. Your future self is watching, and it knows that mental discipline is the key that unlocks every other area of success. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunities, but because they cannot control their thoughts long enough to stay on course. The mind is like a wild horse, powerful, but useless if it is not tamed. When you train your mind daily, you build the inner strength to direct your life instead of being directed by distractions, fears, and impulses. Mental discipline begins with awareness, You must become conscious of the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. Every thought plants a seed, and seeds do not stay dormant. They grow into beliefs, attitudes, and actions. If you entertain thoughts of doubt, fear, and limitation, you are watering weeds that choke your potential. If you cultivate thoughts of confidence, gratitude, and possibility, you are nurturing a garden that produces abundance. The challenge is that most people let their thoughts run on autopilot, repeating the same patterns day after day. Discipline means interrupting that cycle, choosing intentionally what you allow to occupy your mental space. One of the most powerful practices of mental discipline is directing your focus. The brain is constantly scanning for where to put its energy, and without control, it latches onto problems, complaints, and negativity. But when you discipline yourself to focus on solutions, opportunities, and gratitude, your entire perspective shifts. What you focus on expands. A problem magnified in your mind becomes overwhelming. A solution magnified becomes achievable. Your future self is watching to see if you will waste your mental energy on things you cannot control or channel it toward actions that create change. Mental discipline is also about consistency. Anyone can feel motivated for a day, but discipline means showing up even when you don't feel like it. Your future self will not care about the moments of fleeting motivation. It will care about the days you trained your mind to push through resistance. Consistency builds resilience. It teaches your brain that excuses are not valid and that progress is always possible if you keep moving. Think of the way a muscle grows through resistance. Your mind grows through the discipline of choosing growth over comfort. Every time you resist the urge to give up, every time you replace a negative thought with a constructive one, you are strengthening the muscles of your mind. Another key element of mental discipline is self-talk. The words you speak to yourself are commands your subconscious takes seriously. If you constantly tell yourself you are tired, unlucky, or incapable, your brain will look for evidence to confirm it. But if you speak to yourself with strength, affirming that you are capable, resourceful, and resilient, your brain will rise to meet those instructions. The future self you are building listens to the way you talk today. Train your inner dialogue to be one of faith, courage, and determination, and your actions will naturally align with that mindset. Mental discipline also requires creating an environment that supports your growth. Your brain is influenced by the people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the conversations you entertain. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, gossip, or fear-driven voices, your mind will reflect that. Discipline means protecting your environment as fiercely as you protect your goals. Choose inputs that lift you, challenge you, and remind you of what's possible. Your future self is silently begging you to guard your mind from pollution and to feed it with inspiration, knowledge, and truth. Ultimately, mental discipline is about mastery. It is about realizing that while you cannot control every circumstance in life, you can always control how you think about it, and in turn, how you respond. The most successful people are not those with the easiest lives, but those with the strongest minds. They trained themselves to stay calm under pressure, to persist through obstacles, and to see possibilities where others see dead ends. Your future self is watching to see if you will give in to the chaos of the world or rise above it with discipline and focus. Every day is an opportunity to practice this. Each time you take a breath before reacting, each time you replace a limiting thought with an empowering one, each time you stay focused when distractions call your name, you are shaping a future of strength and stability. Remember this: the greatest freedom you will ever experience comes from mastering your own mind, and that mastery is built one disciplined thought, one disciplined choice, one disciplined day at a time. Your body is the vessel through which your vision and discipline are expressed. Without physical energy, even the greatest plans remain dormant, and the brightest ideas fade before they are acted upon. Your future self is watching, and it depends on the choices you make today about how you treat your body, because those choices directly determine the strength, vitality, and stamina you will carry into tomorrow. Energy is not just a nice-to-have, it is the very foundation of achievement. When you are full of energy, challenges feel like opportunities. When you are drained, even the smallest obstacles feel insurmountable. That is why cultivating physical energy every single day is non-negotiable if you want to create a future worth living. Physical energy begins with movement. The body is designed to move, and when it does, it generates life. Too many people underestimate the power of daily activity, believing it must be extreme or complicated to matter. The truth is that consistent movement, whether it is a walk, a workout, stretching, or lifting, charges the body like a battery. Every drop of sweat is an investment in your future self. Energy creates momentum, and momentum carries you through the moments when your mind would otherwise convince you to quit. Your future self is watching and hoping you will move your body today so it can live vibrantly tomorrow. Equally important is rest. Society glorifies overwork, but burning yourself out does not serve your vision. Rest is not weakness. It is the renewal that makes strength possible. Sleep is when the body repairs, the mind consolidates learning, and your system resets. Skipping rest is like withdrawing money from your future health without making deposits. Discipline means protecting your sleep as fiercely as you protect your goals, because without it, your energy, focus, and clarity suffer. Your future self is counting on you to give it the rest it needs so that it can thrive, not merely survive. Nutrition is another pillar of energy. Every bite you eat is either fueling your growth or slowing it down. Food is not just about taste. It is information for your body, instructions for how it should perform. When you choose whole, nourishing foods, you are programming your body to operate with strength and clarity. When you indulge in empty fuel day after day, you are programming fatigue, brain fog, and disease. It is not about perfection, it is about consistency. Your future self does not demand that you eat flawlessly, but it does expect you to respect your body enough to give it what it needs to flourish. Energy also flows from how you breathe and how you manage stress. Shallow breaths keep you in survival mode, always anxious and fatigued. Deep, intentional breathing calms the mind and energizes the body. Stress is inevitable, but how you respond to it makes all the difference. When you carry tension, you leak energy in every direction. When you learn to pause, breathe, and center yourself, you conserve energy for what truly matters. Your future self will thank you for learning to manage stress today instead of letting it rob you of vitality tomorrow. Hydration, posture, sunlight, and connection with nature may seem small, but they are silent builders of energy. Water fuels cellular function. Posture opens or restricts the flow of oxygen. Sunlight resets your internal clock and boosts mood. Nature restores balance. These daily choices accumulate, and while they may seem insignificant in the moment, over time they create a massive difference in how alive and capable you feel. Your future self is watching and whispering, "Take care of the details. They matter more than you realize." Ultimately, physical energy is about honoring the fact that your body is your most valuable tool. It is the vehicle that carries your vision, the engine that drives your actions, and the foundation upon which your future is built. When you neglect it, you sabotage yourself. When you nurture it, you unlock levels of performance and joy that cannot be reached any other way. Every single day, you have a choice: drain your energy or build it. Skip movement or embrace it. Ignore rest or protect it. Indulge recklessly or fuel wisely. These choices are not just about today. They echo into tomorrow, shaping the quality of your future life. Your future self is not just watching. It is depending on you to care enough now to ensure strength, vitality, and freedom later. Energy is the currency of achievement, and the deposits you make today will be the wealth your future self enjoys. The greatest victories in life are not won on the outside but within. Emotional mastery is the art of governing your inner world so that circumstances do not dictate your destiny. Your future self is watching, and it knows that if you can control your emotions, you can control your future. Too often people allow their emotions to run unchecked. Anger drives their decisions, fear paralyzes their progress, disappointment crushes their spirit. But those who learn to master their emotions build a foundation of stability and strength that no storm can shake. Emotional mastery does not mean suppressing feelings or pretending they do not exist. It means recognizing them, understanding them, and choosing how to respond rather than reacting blindly. Anger, fear, sadness, joy, excitement, all of these are natural. The difference lies in whether they control you or you control them. When you are the master, emotions become signals, not dictators. They inform you without enslaving you. Your future self is urging you to learn this skill, because every day you either spend your energy being tossed around by emotional waves or you rise above them, steering toward your vision with calm determination. One of the keys to emotional mastery is self-awareness. You cannot change what you do not acknowledge. Too many people go through life unaware of how much their mood influences their choices, conversations, and outcomes. Self-awareness means pausing to ask, what am I feeling right now and why? That pause creates space between the emotion and the action, and in that space lies freedom. In that space you can choose patience instead of irritation, confidence instead of doubt, forgiveness instead of resentment. Your future self depends on you making those choices because they shape the quality of your relationships, your health, and your success. Another essential practice is gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotional reset buttons available. When frustration, fear, or discouragement rise, gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is present, from what is wrong to what is right. It is nearly impossible to feel both anger and gratitude at the same time. Gratitude softens the sharp edges of life and reminds you of your blessings even in the middle of challenges. Your future self is watching closely, hoping that you will practice gratitude daily, because a grateful heart creates an unshakable foundation of joy and resilience. Forgiveness is another pillar of emotional mastery. Carrying resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. It drains your energy and clouds your vision. Forgiveness does not mean condoning what was wrong, but it means releasing yourself from the prison of bitterness. When you forgive, you free up emotional space to focus on your growth and future. Your future self is waiting for you to let go of the heavy burdens of the past so that it can walk into freedom. Equally important is cultivating a positive emotional state. This does not mean being cheerful all the time, but it does mean training your mind to return quickly to hope, optimism, and confidence. Life will throw challenges at you, but how long you stay in despair is a choice. Emotional mastery is about bouncing back faster, turning setbacks into lessons, and seeing difficulties as opportunities for growth. Your future self is watching how quickly you recover, because resilience is the mark of true strength. Managing your emotional energy also requires healthy boundaries. Not everyone should have access to your inner world. Protecting your peace means limiting exposure to toxic voices, negativity, and drama. The company you keep influences your emotional state, and discipline means surrounding yourself with those who lift you higher rather than pull you down. Your future self will thank you for protecting your environment and choosing relationships that nourish your growth. Ultimately, emotional mastery is about freedom. Freedom from being enslaved by moods, freedom from being tossed around by external circumstances, freedom to choose your response and direct your path. The most powerful people are not those who never feel fear or anger, but those who feel them and still decide with wisdom and strength. Every day presents you with opportunities to practice this mastery. When you pause instead of snapping in anger, when you choose gratitude over complaint, when you forgive instead of holding on, you are building the emotional resilience your future self will rely on. Your future self is watching and silently urging you to rise above temporary feelings in service of permanent growth. It is reminding you that emotions are powerful servants but dangerous masters. When you gain control of your inner world, you gain control of your destiny. The world may be chaotic, but inside you can carry peace, strength, and clarity, and that is what will sustain you, guide you, and ultimately shape the life you are meant to live. Knowledge is one of the most powerful forces you can cultivate, and it is available to you every single day. Continuous learning is not just about gaining information. It is about transforming yourself into someone capable of meeting life with wisdom, skill, and confidence. Your future self is watching, and it is pleading with you not to settle for what you already know, because the person you are becoming will require new levels of understanding, new tools, and new perspectives. Growth stops the moment learning stops. The only way to keep expanding your potential is to commit to daily learning, no matter how small or simple the act may be. The danger many people fall into is believing that once they graduate from school, their education is complete. In truth, that is when the real learning begins. Life changes constantly, opportunities evolve, and challenges shift shape. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. To stay sharp, adaptable, and prepared, you must feed your mind with knowledge every day. Think of your mind as a garden. If you do not plant new seeds, weeds of ignorance and stagnation take over. Reading, studying, listening, observing, these are the ways you plant seeds that will grow into strength for your future self. Continuous learning builds confidence. Confidence is not about pretending you know everything. It is about knowing that you can learn anything. When you face a problem and have trained yourself to learn, you approach it with curiosity instead of fear. You say to yourself, I may not know how to solve this yet, but I know I can find out. That shift in mindset turns obstacles into puzzles, challenges into lessons, and setbacks into stepping stones. Your future self is depending on this habit because the problems it will face will demand more than yesterday's answers. Another benefit of daily learning is that knowledge compounds like interest. If you read just a little, study just a little, practice just a little each day, the results over months and years are extraordinary. 1 page a day becomes a book in a year. 10 minutes of practice becomes mastery over a decade. Small, consistent deposits of learning create wealth in your mind that no one can take away. Your future self is watching and urging you to stop waiting for the right time to start. The right time is always now, and every day you delay is a day of compound growth lost forever. Continuous learning also keeps you humble and open. The moment you think you know it all, you stop growing. But when you adopt the mindset of a student, you remain curious, teachable, and adaptable. You begin to see wisdom in unexpected places, in a conversation with a child, in a mistake you made, in a book you would not normally pick up. Life is always teaching, but only those committed to learning will notice the lessons. Your future self is counting on you to remain a student, because arrogance closes doors while curiosity opens them. But learning is not just about consumption, it is also about application. Knowledge without action is wasted potential. When you learn something new, put it into practice immediately. Apply it, test it, refine it. This is how information becomes transformation. Reading about discipline means little unless you practice discipline. Learning about health means nothing unless you live it. The bridge between knowledge and wisdom is action, and your future self is watching whether you will merely collect ideas or embody them in your life. Continuous learning requires discipline, but it also brings joy. There is a deep sense of fulfillment in realizing you are not the same person you were yesterday. Growth creates momentum, and momentum creates excitement for the future. When you see yourself expanding, you begin to believe in the endless possibilities ahead. You no longer feel trapped by limitations because you know you are always evolving. That belief fuels action, and action creates results. Every day presents an opportunity to learn through books, through mentors, through experiences, even through failure. The key is to approach each day with the intention of growth. If you dedicate yourself to learning a little every day, you will look back months and years from now and realize how far you have come. Your future self will thank you for refusing to remain the same, for choosing growth over comfort, and for building a reservoir of wisdom that empowers you to face anything with confidence and strength. Continuous learning is not just a habit, it is a lifestyle, and it is one of the greatest gifts you can give to the person you are becoming. Dreams are beautiful, but without action, they dissolve into regrets. Intentions carry potential, but only courageous action transforms them into results. Your future self is watching closely, not measuring what you thought about doing, not even what you promised yourself you would do, but what you actually did. Every vision, every goal, every breakthrough depends on your willingness to take bold steps forward, even when you are uncertain, even when you are afraid. Courageous action is the bridge between imagination and reality, and without it, your future self will remain a shadow of what could have been. Action requires courage because growth always pushes you beyond comfort. It is easy to stay where you are, doing what feels familiar, but your future self is not built in comfort zones. It is built in the moments when you decide to move forward in spite of fear. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means feeling fear and choosing to act anyway. Every time you take a step into the unknown, you expand your capacity, you stretch your limits, and you build confidence that carries into the next challenge. Your future self will thank you for those moments when you dared to leap instead of holding back. Courageous action also means acting now, not someday. Procrastination is the silent killer of dreams. The mind convinces you to wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions, but there is no perfect time. Conditions will never be flawless, and waiting only feeds doubt. Momentum is built in motion. The smallest step forward creates clarity, and clarity fuels the next step. Action breeds confidence, hesitation breeds fear. Your future self is watching, urging you to stop waiting and start moving, reminding you that progress is more powerful than perfection. Another truth about courageous action is that it often requires going against the opinions of others. People may doubt you, criticize you, or misunderstand your vision. If you let their voices dictate your choices, you will live their life instead of your own. Courage means following your inner compass even when the crowd disagrees. History's greatest achievements were never created by those who played it safe or followed the majority. They were built by those who acted boldly on what they believed. Your future self will not care who doubted you. It will only care that you had the courage to follow through. Action also demands persistence. One bold move is not enough. You must be willing to keep moving even when obstacles appear. Fear will test you, failure will test you, fatigue will test you. Courage means getting back up, trying again, refining your approach, and refusing to quit. Persistence is not glamorous, but it is powerful. Each act of perseverance is a message to your future self. I will not stop until I become the person I am meant to be. That determination shapes character, and character builds destiny. Courageous action is also about alignment. It is not about doing everything. It is about doing what matters most. The world is full of distractions, and without clarity, you can waste years of energy on the wrong pursuits. Courage means saying no to what does not align with your vision, even when it is tempting, even when it would be easier. It means focusing your time and energy on the steps that bring you closer to the life you want to create. Your future self is not impressed by busyness. It is shaped by meaningful, aligned action. At the heart of it, courageous action is a decision. Every day you decide whether to move toward growth or stay where you are. Every day you decide whether to step into possibility or shrink back into fear. Those daily decisions accumulate, and over time they create the life you live. Your future self is watching, recording, and ultimately experiencing the consequences of each choice you make. So ask yourself, will your future self thank you for your courage or resent you for your hesitation? Will it celebrate the risks you took or mourn the chances you let slip by? The answer lies in the actions you take today. Every bold step is a gift to your future self, a declaration that you are not waiting for life to happen. You are making it happen. And when you consistently choose courage over fear, action over delay, you build a future that reflects the very best of who you are.